Yo, what is going on, guys? Back with another video. So if you guys are curious on how to get an Airsoft sponsorship, you clicked on the right video. I'm gonna go ahead and go straight into it and hop into my desk, and we'll get straight into how to get sponsored in Airsoft. Alright, so now we're at my desk. We can kind of get started with the video. So basically, we're going to be going over kind of like a few different things during this video to kind of break it down to make it more simple to understand on like basically how to get sponsored in Airsoft or get an Airsoft sponsorship. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is actually like, what are your goals with the sponsorship? Are you looking to get some kind of monetary income per month? Or are you looking to get maybe a one-time fee to doing a marketing video for an Airsoft company? Or are you just trying to get free products, or maybe products to review for a video, or even just like guns to use for a video for content purposes? And sometimes you get to keep them, sometimes you don't get to keep them. It kind of depends on the video. So it's just kind of simple to ask yourself, like, what do you really want from the sponsorship, and why are you going forward and actually looking for one? And in this video, I'm also going to be kind of talking about the pros and cons of actually getting sponsored, because it's not all good all the time too. There is definitely things that people don't take into consideration when getting sponsored in the short term and the long term. So later on in this video, we'll be talking about the pros and cons of actually getting a Airsoft sponsorship. Basically, kind of when I think of an Airsoft sponsorship, there's kind of like two different types in my opinion. So basically, the first type is the like Airsoft YouTuber sponsorship. Well, the actual YouTuber entity and the company are getting placed into a contract that the company presents the YouTuber. And basically, depending on the contract, it does depend on the company, the size of the YouTuber, and their monthly views, their subscriber counts, and what the company's goal are with the actual YouTuber itself. Most of the time when it comes down to YouTubers, with companies, their main goal is kind of to just obviously provide traffic to their website or promote kind of like special deals that the company has going on at that certain time. And the second kind of sponsorship for Airsoft that you see often too is actually when a Airsoft company doesn't necessarily have to be in a contract with a like individual or a team, but instead they kind of provide like free guns or free discounts for that particular person or team, so that in a way the company is getting traffic to the website, but they also don't have to be in a contract obligated to pay that person a certain amount per month. Depending on the company's goals and the YouTuber's goals or the Airsoft team goals, depending on how you look at it, there's different kinds of ways that companies and individuals or teams can kind of represent their best intentions for the deal or the mutual relationship that they will start with a Airsoft sponsorship. Say you're not the biggest YouTuber, but you do want to start doing some more videos, and maybe you can't afford to be buying all these expensive guns all the time. You can actually reach out to Airsoft companies and ask them, can you send me this gun and I'll review the gun, and you'll provide links to their website and for the gun itself, etc., etc. This one's good for companies because it's kind of a low risk situation, because they're not obligated for a contract. It's more like they're sending you the product in hopes of getting a little bit of traffic to that specific product or a specific deal, or even their website in general. And for the content creator or the team itself, they're getting in return either video content for a YouTube video, or they're just getting new equipment that they could use. Or taking an Airsoft team, for example, they're getting in turn new equipment, or let's say BBs, or just like new products in general that can help them in an Airsoft tournament too. So it's basically a win-win for each entity, and everyone's happy. This tends to be the most simple and common way to get sponsored by Airsoft companies, and I recommend this to people that want to get their feet wet when doing any kind of sponsorship deals. It kind of allows you to start working with companies and kind of getting the feel to talking to different businesses and companies in general, and it helps your relationships grow further if you want to expand from doing free stuff to actually getting paid for it. So once you kind of settled in and realize what your goals with the sponsorship are, if it's kind of just getting free stuff now and then that you can review or even use on the field, it's good to realize that. And also with the companies, what their goal is too, is just providing a little bit of traffic and even getting the products out there on the field and getting a little bit of word of mouth marketing. But when you want to get a little bit more fancy, often you have to get into contracts, and not necessarily all the time, but usually the companies are obligated to pay you a certain amount per month in exchange for marketing for videos or marketing for promotional deals or even new products on their website. So the next kind of portion of getting sponsored is asking yourself, why would this company actually sponsor you? Like for Airsoft companies, obviously they have expenses, and sometimes they even have some marketing budgets, and sometimes they don't even have a marketing budget to begin with. So you have to kind of realize what you're actually offering to the actual company itself, and if it's worth it for them to even consider sponsoring you. Often when an Airsoft company and let's say a content creator, for example, partner up, they want to have a mutual relationship where each entity in the relationship actually is benefiting. So there's a few different ways actually YouTubers can bring to the table, or even Airsoft teams can bring to the table, things that Airsoft companies would actually look for, and then they would proceed to think it was a good idea to sponsor you or that team. So it begins a mutual relationship between the team or player and the Airsoft company itself. An example of this, like let's say there's a content creator out there and getting a certain views per month or subscriber gain per month, and Airsoft companies see them as a good thing to invest in to actually promote their actual website or the new products, or again promotional deals, etc., etc. Let's use the example as a content creator like myself. What I would bring to the table for airsoft companies is actually obviously traffic to their website, promotional deals, and airsoft products, etc. So a lot of airsoft companies end up doing that have marketing budgets is instead of running kind of random ads, they'll actually use that budget to actually sponsor airsoft content creators, and it benefits them more getting traffic to their products or getting traffic to their website or even promotional deals, etc. Because you have to realize when a company is sponsoring an actual content creator, for example, the company is taking a risk out of their budget and out of their time to execute a proper sponsorship deal, and both the content creator and the company can both benefit for long term. So a lot of times these content creators are providing kind of just viewership on YouTube, which translate to traffic on that specific airsoft brand's website, or even if they're pushing a new product that came into their inventory, that can also help move that product as well. So you have to make sure when you're presenting a sponsorship to airsoft companies that you have something to bring to the table for them too. So if you do indeed want to actually get a monetary set amount per month from an airsoft company to actually be sponsored by them and have a contract with them, I would just suggest to grow your subscriber count and your views per month. As you start growing in the industry, more and more companies will actually reach out to you and start noticing your work and your videos, and then from there, sometimes they'll proceed to actually reach out to you with a sponsorship deal, or even you can start reaching out to airsoft companies themselves and start asking if they'd be interested in maybe informing some kind of relationship, and later down the road, as that proves to work, you can start doing a airsoft sponsorship deal or a contract with that company. When you're looking to do airsoft YouTube kind of full time, it's a lot more beneficial to have these sponsorship deals so that your monthly income from the AdSense isn't super volatile, and you have kind of a more concrete idea of how much you can make per month. Because when it comes down to doing YouTube full time, a lot of the times your AdSense kind of varies per month and it's not very concrete at all. So take it from me, it helps a lot having that extra support from sponsorships per month to pay for your expenses per month. So I actually want to now talk about the actual pros and cons of a monetary sponsorship and a contract in general. But if you're not proceeding to do YouTube full time or want to be a content creator at all, I suggest actually just reaching out to companies to do simple stuff and actually free stuff that both benefits both parties. So yes, they are, as an airsoft company, trying to support you as a content creator, and you're also trying to provide traffic to them back to help them too. But what most people don't realize is it's actually a business relationship. So both of the parties are actually binded by a contract that most of the time airsoft companies actually hand out to the content creators themselves. So one of the first things that obviously is a pro to these relationships for the content creator themselves is actually the amount per month they get paid depending on the creator themselves and the sponsorship deal itself. Because airsoft products aren't the cheapest in the world, you can also get free products and maybe discounts from your sponsor themselves to help you provide video content for them and for your own YouTube channel itself. Another thing too that's kind of unique about getting sponsored, for example, when I was sponsored by Airsoft GI, they actually invited me to these kind of more private games that GI kind of puts on at said fields, or even some out of state I wasn't able to attend. But these opportunities obviously are private games, so only if you're maybe a part of the sponsorship team or an employee at the company, you're actually invited. So again, it's kind of something that people don't really realize, but it's kind of a unique thing that's cool too, is you actually get a little bit more opportunities for videos. So people don't tend to actually realize the actual cons with a sponsorship themselves. Although usually it is a more of a pro thing to go with a sponsorship and work in a mutual relationship, there is some cons that people actually don't realize. Most of the time for videos, you're going to have to show the airsoft company's, let's say, name and provide links in the bio and your description, which is not a big deal. But for an example, maybe it irritates the audience to have these ads actually presented to them every video, which I don't really think is the case because it is a targeted ad towards airsoft players and an airsoft company, so people don't really tend to mind. But a unique con that I thought was interesting was actually the slow process of making videos. But although kind of working with businesses, it's often hard to kind of get things done in a timely manner. Obviously you have to talk to an individual that is communicating with you more, which is obviously helpful, but then they have to talk to someone and then they have to talk to someone else. So it kind of just delays the whole video idea in general. And I thought this wasn't a huge con, as you can plan in advance and prepare for such things. But I thought it was just something to kind of mention, is that when you're working with companies and have an actual business contract with them, it's actually kind of hard to actually provide these certain video ideas or getting the products in a certain amount of time to shoot the video. So although it's kind of a small con, I think it was just something kind of to mention. Although there isn't really a lot of cons with doing a sponsorship, obviously the things you have to consider more than a con or pro itself are actually the contract itself. You're actually obligated to do, let's say, a certain amount of advertisements per month, or obligated to do certain things in videos to actually promote that airsoft company in general, which is obviously not a bad thing at all, and that's kind of a given when you're doing a sponsorship. If you guys are interested in kind of hearing my story about being sponsored by Airsoft GI, they were an awesome company, we had a very good relationship, and they were awesome to work with. But if you want to kind of know my story on why I actually decided to end our sponsorship deal, let me know in the comments below if you want to see that video. So I actually do believe when it comes down to airsoft sponsorships, I think you should start out with something kind of more simple, and then obviously as your channel starts to grow, you can obviously think about doing a actually contract deal with a company and start growing your channel and doing it full time. It is actually very beneficial to actually seek out these relationships with companies and do a sponsorship deal. But at first, I think it's more beneficial just to kind of get your feet wet and start doing more simple stuff like my next example. For an example, me and Brawl Armory are actually not in a contract at all, and they don't pay me whatsoever for anything, but sometimes they do let me use some of their cool guns, and I can make cool videos with them as well to provide content for you guys too. So that's how it's kind of a mutual relationship. Obviously, they get their brand and their new products pushed through my channel, through viewership on my videos, and I get to play with cool guns that provides cool content for you guys to grow my channel. But I recommend this way to anyone that kind of wants to start out with some kind of airsoft sponsorship in general. So a quick story for you guys, actually how I got in contact with Umbrella Army. Obviously, I love their product and their company, so I wanted to reach out to them. And this time, I was actually living in Northern California, and they were in Southern California. And they actually came down for an airsoft event in Northern California. So I actually reached out to them by actually just straight up talking to them. So they actually had a booth at the airsoft event in Northern California. At this time, I think I had around 3,000 subscribers if I remember right. So I actually approached their booth and I started talking with one of the owners of the company and even the marketing / social media representative at their company too. So once I kind of introduced myself and my channel, I was explaining to him I was actually moving to Southern California for college, and that I would be in the area if they wanted to do any work in the future. Their social media / marketing guy actually put me in contact with one of their mutual friends, and I started playing with him and using some of his Umbrella Armory guns to get started. When I started testing out their products and my channel started to grow, I slowly got talking to multiple people on their team, and sometimes they would reach out and give me a gun to loan to just do free marketing for them, and obviously I got to play with one of their guns and do a video with it. But over time, it's actually just opened doors for me to do, let's say, videos like this where I get to actually enter their shop and do cool, unique videos with their gun builds. But obviously, having this relationship with them, I got to play at really cool fields such as a Bandit Indoor Mall. I'll show you the clip of that now. So for an example, obviously with an airsoft company, you don't have to necessarily be getting paid with them, but you can also have a mutual relationship too. So you can get unique opportunities, you can be playing with new products and using new products to help that airsoft company promote their brand and their products, and then that obviously provides you with content so you can make cool videos and provide it to your audience on YouTube. And when it comes down to actually being an airsoft team, obviously I don't have a lot of experience with this because I haven't been part of an airsoft team, but if you're a part of an airsoft team, an airsoft company sees something in you as a positive thing for the culture of airsoft, and I don't see why they couldn't reach out to you, or you can reach out to them and start some kind of mutual relationship through that. And a few different examples of this is even some individuals in airsoft have gotten to use cool guns or products because they provide a unique marketing aesthetic for that particular company, or even if players are really well known on the field or area and everyone thinks of them as a positive way as helping the culture, I don't see why a company wouldn't reach out and give you some free products to even just helping the actual word of mouth of that company in general on that field or in that area in general. So whether you're an individual or a team or actually a content creator and you know you can provide value for an airsoft company or business, I don't see why it wouldn't be a good idea for you to reach out and provide your perspective on why you can help them as a company or brand grow. So overall in this video, I think you should start out small and start reaching out to airsoft companies if you know you can provide value for them as a player, a team, or even a content creator. And then as you start getting more serious with content creation itself or an airsoft team in general, you can actually provide your perspective on why you should get paid to actually market for these companies and then start your contracted sponsorship journey there. By the way guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this type of video of me just kind of explaining something that's kind of more unique than not just a standard video itself, make sure to leave that in the comments below. And if you do like what you see here, I do give away lots of cool guns in my videos, so if you want to subscribe and stay tuned for that, make sure to turn on post notifications to stay updated on when I post, and hope everyone has a great day. See you guys in the next one.